So, on this episode of Storytime, I'm going to talk about the fact that I used to be a rapper. You may not know this, you may not realize this, but I used to be a rapper. My cousin and I, we had our little rap group that we would go around, we perform, and I was the music producer. So I produced all the music for the songs that we did, and I had a whole bunch of extra tracks too that we didn't put out there. Actually, I have probably a little over 2 dozen music tracks that I had produced and made songs on a bunch of them, and we were performing it and producing it, putting it out there quite a bit at the time. You might wonder, so why did I leave that? At some point during the journey, I realized that I didn't want to be famous. And you might be wondering, even how did I even get into that? Outside of what I do as a video producer now and what I did then as a rapper and a music producer, I'm a musician. I was born with that gift. I play a variety of different instruments on a professional level: keyboard, bass, drums, saxophone. I play them, and I play them on a fairly, I say fairly because I'm maybe not the top, but a fairly professional level. And I love music, and that was my dad was a touring musician at one point, and that gift came into me too, and I have that gifting. And but at some point during the process, as we were on our way and building up, I was having meetings with studios. I was to sell some of my music and all of that. And the time I left it was one day I realized, like, wait, we're pushing, we're really going in on this thing. And then I realized, oh snap, I might be famous. And I'm like, wait, what? I don't want to be famous. I don't like, I realized at some point that I don't like, I don't like the lifestyle of being famous. And maybe to some level having a little bit of experience of that under my dad. But I realized I really don't want to be famous. And that was a moment when I realized, okay, this is the end of my rapping journey because I don't want to be a star. I want to be able to be on the train in New York City or walk the streets and nobody knows me. I want to be successful. I want to be a millionaire, but I want to be the secret millionaire that nobody knows, except my clients. And so therefore, that was the end of that journey. But why am I saying all of that? I'm realizing too, as I think about, where I am now as a video producer, as a CEO of this company, a big part of our work and the work that we do in video is sound and audio, and how important it is. And I realize why a big part of why it's important to me is because that is a part of my DNA. I've always been into sound. I'm a musician, and I was a music producer, and I was a rapper, and I studied sound, EQing, tone, the crispness of the sound. It's super important to me, and that's why it's a big deal to me. I remember, and some of you may not know this, but I went to film school in Long Island, New York, and while I was there, one of the things I realized immediately when I got there, I was still producing music, still rapping, still a musician in my church at that time. So audio was a big deal. I was doing sound engineering. I had done sound installations in many different places, in auditoriums and churches by the time I was in college. So one of the things I realized there when studying film is that the large majority of the people there had absolutely no care for the sound quality, for the sound and the audio quality. They had no care. They only cared about what it looked like. And to me, from my background and my experience, at the time I came in, I was like, what? What are you doing? Half the video is the sound. So I would say, to the other students there at the time, especially if I was involved in a project that included multiple of us, like, the sound is super important. Like, how can you even enjoy this movie or this film you're making if the sound sounded like trash, or if the sound wasn't good? My whole philosophy is half the video is sound, and if the sound quality is bad, the whole video is bad because that's half the video. And that really translated it into even how we produce our videos and the work we do. Because essentially, here's a quick rule of thumb you can write down for whatever you do, is that if the sound quality is bad, if the audio quality is bad for your video, whatever kind of video it is you're putting out there, it becomes a distraction from the engaging content that you're trying to produce. The quality of the sound is very important if you do not want to have a distraction from the message that you're communicating. So that's what I always tell clients, and I communicate to clients all the time. The only value in a video being well produced in terms of quality is that it helps people to focus on the story, to focus on the engagement. If the quality is bad, it actually ends up becoming a distraction. And you don't want a distraction. You don't want the content, the storytelling is the most important thing. You don't want a distraction. So ensure that your audio quality is good. You don't have to become a rapper. You don't have to become a music producer, and you don't have to be a musician. But if you don't have the expertise, get someone who does to help you have good quality audio. But good quality audio is very important for your video. I hope you enjoyed that. Follow, subscribe if you aren't already, and I hope to continue to keep on providing clips that can provide you value and help you with your video content journey. Bye-bye.